This is CBS 2 News at 10.
The numbers are staggering. 250,000 people injured, 17,000 people killed last year in crashes involving drunk drivers across the country. And repeat offenders are responsible for many of those fatalities. They are beating the system. Pam Zekman is here to tell us how. Pam?
Diane, Illinois has some of the toughest drunk driving laws in the country, but enforcing those laws depends on a system that accurately keeps track of the 50,000 DUI arrests a year statewide. Our investigation found that in some cases, huge flaws are helping repeat offenders beat the system, adding to the carnage here in Illinois, where 2 people on average are killed every day. Day after day, the stories pile up, along with a twisted wreckage of deadly crashes caused by drunk drivers.
It was a mother's worst nightmare.
A nightmare repeated 648 times last year, and 1/3 of the people behind the wheel were repeat offenders.
These are terrorists on our roadways.
The question is, how many fatal crashes could have been prevented if the court system got tough on drunk drivers before they killed someone? Last year, an astounding 63% of the people charged with drunk driving got court supervision, a type of probation. Others plea bargained drunk driving charges down to reckless driving. James Stitt got both breaks in court. In 1997, he got supervision. In 2001, a plea bargain that reduced a DUI charge to reckless driving. Stitt was sentenced to probation with alcohol counseling and random testing, a second chance that a DUI prevention group says does not deter repeat offenders.
Jail should be mandatory, and I think that would stop many of them from drinking and driving drunk, a second time.
In Stitt's case, we learned the probation department never did court-ordered random alcohol tests. While on probation last May, Stitt was allegedly driving drunk again. That's when he crashed into a car and killed 17-year-old Caitlin Weiss.
To see your daughter laying there all broken up and to be helpless, it breaks your heart.
Other repeat offenders caught driving without a license can beat the system by slightly varying their name when an officer pulls them over. That creates a new driving history for the same driver.
You never know, who you have in front of you when you're in court and what the adequate disposition should be. That's a huge problem.
In the case of Thomas J. Harris, it was one of many problems. Last May, when Harris was here in court for sentencing on his most recent DUI charges, the assistant state's attorney did not have his complete driving record. If she did, it would have shown his 6 DUI arrests. A 1996 conviction was on another driving record because Harris dropped his middle initial when he was stopped. A 93 DUI conviction was missing because of a clerical error by the court clerk. And yet another DUI ticket was mysteriously not called in court and later dismissed. So based on the incomplete record, Harris was sentenced to only 183 days in jail. If you had known about all 6 DUIs, what was he eligible for?
At that point, he would have been eligible to be charged with a felony. So that's 1 to 3 years in the penitentiary.
That means Harris could have been in jail last September, the day he was allegedly driving drunk again and ran down a flagger at a highway construction site. He killed 36-year-old Tina Ball, leaving her husband to care for their 7 children.
He was like a loaded gun. He got in the car, he drove, he ran my wife over. That's just like pulling a trigger.
They're killing innocent people needlessly and senselessly every day. And we've all got to work together to stop this.
Both Stitt and Harris have pled not guilty to the reckless homicide charges they now face. Tomorrow night at 10, we'll tell you why all too often police can't get the evidence they need to get drunk drivers off the road. That accident in which you could have killed somebody, you permanently injured her, and you're still drinking and driving. I don't get it. Tell me why. Find out how he's beating the system tomorrow night at 10. Diane and Antonio?
Thank you, Pam.